Caitlin Clark has achieved something truly historical, making her a shoo-in for the greatest rookie guard in WNBA history. It is no hyperbole to say that Caitlin Clark is putting together one of the most legendary rookie seasons of all time. Expectations were at an all-time high after she announced that she would be taking her talents to the WNBA. And right away, there were a bunch of former players pumping the brakes and saying that she shouldn't just stroll on into the league and dominate. But some believed that she could do just that. So it seems as if you were a Caitlin Clark believer, you are on the right side of history. Congratulations! Not only has she lived up to the crazy high expectations, but she has surpassed them in many ways. That is why by the end of this video, you will see that Caitlin Clark is the greatest rookie guard in WNBA history. Now, it is safe to say that she entered the WNBA season with higher expectations than any rookie. Right away, people expected her to not only dominate, but carry the league on her shoulders. Most rookies come into the league and ride the bench for a while and work on their skill set. A few special cases, well, they might start right away. And then there are the ultra special cases who not only start, but make a big impact. Now, Caitlin went beyond this. She was tasked with leading the Indiana Fever back to relevance after a 7-year playoff drought, along with carrying the WNBA to new heights. What other rookies had to take on such responsibilities? Even in the NBA, when Wemby made his debut, people applauded him and gave him props, despite his team being one of the worst in the standings. But Caitlin would not get the same type of leeway. In some ways, Caitlin only has herself to blame for having to shoulder such a big responsibility. Her elite play in college sparked a rapid increase in the popularity of women's basketball, and now she had to keep that going. Caitlin will be the first one to tell you that she is not perfect. She famously started her WNBA career setting an unflattering record. She scored 20 points in her debut game, but during that game she also committed 10 turnovers, the most in a debut in WNBA history. Now, the losses also piled up pretty quickly. The Fever began the season on an 11-game, 20-day gauntlet, littered with nationally televised contests against the best teams in the league. A 2-9 start when Clark had 1 double-double, 3 single-digit scoring games, and more turnovers than rebounds. However, one reason for the slow start has to be the tough schedule. But at the same time, when you are considered a legend coming into the WNBA, shouldn't you be great right away? However, Caitlin essentially also had no break between her last college game and her first WNBA game. Usually, a rookie will either ride the bench and slowly get acclimated to the WNBA standards, or they do not have as much responsibility as Caitlin did. But in order for your critique to have some validity, you also have to give her credit where credit is due. No one really remembers the shaky start anymore because of how Caitlin has turned around the Fever franchise. She has figured out the pro game on the fly. She leads the WNBA in assists with 8.3 per game and total points created with 1,012 via points and assists. She also did the impossible and turned around the Indiana franchise. Indiana already has as many wins this season as it did a year ago, and is tied for the 4th most victories in the league since the start of July. She has also etched her name into the league's historical record books. Against the Seattle Storm, she set the record for most assists by a first-year player, passing WNBA legend Tisha Penicheiro with 12 games to spare. She also has the most assists in a single game, dishing 19 dimes. Now, along with the record for the most consecutive point-assist double-doubles in a rookie season, the most double-doubles by a rookie guard, the first rookie to record a triple-double, the single-game leader in three-point field goals made by a rookie, and she is the youngest player to record a double-double with points and assists in back-to-back games. Even some of her biggest doubters have turned around and become some of her biggest supporters. And this does include Diana Taurasi.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. What Caitlin's been able to do in her short career so far has just been nothing short of remarkable. The one thing that I really love about her, she loves the game. You can tell she's put the work in. And even, throughout, her short WNBA career, it's been a lot of pressure, a lot of things thrown at her. And, she keeps showing up and keeps getting better every single game. So her future is super bright.
Sue Bird is another name in the conversation for the best rookie season. She is widely regarded as the best point guard in WNBA history. She averaged 14.4 points and 6 assists per game in her debut season with the Storm in 2002. However, Caitlin averages 17.8 points and 8.3 assists, comfortably exceeding Bird's marks, and the Indiana rookie also has a higher field goal percentage. And then there's Caitlin's childhood idol, Maya Moore. Caitlin bests her in every counting stat other than three-point percentage, though Moore was a superior force on defense and surrounded by much more veteran talent as the Minnesota Lynx won a championship in 2011. Typically, rookies take a couple of years to figure things out, and this does include Olympians like Jewel Lloyd, Jackie Young, and Sabrina Ionescu, all of whom took 3 or 4 seasons to get to all-star level production after being number 1 picks. Even prolific college scorers like Kelsey Plum and Kelsey Mitchell, who were the top 2 scorers in NCAA women's basketball history before Clark, did not burst onto the scene as bucket getters in the WNBA. Plum and Mitchell averaged 8.5 and 12.7 points in their rookie seasons, each shooting 34.6% from the field as they acclimated to the higher level of play. Now, it was never a doubt that Caitlin would eventually become an elite player, but what is surprising is how quickly she has done it. In fact, in the season adjustment she has made, she really set herself apart from her peers and showed off her incredible basketball IQ. Caitlin's playmaking has elevated her Fever teammates as well. Aaliyah Boston is having the best season of her career and was named to the All-Star team. She also received the second most fan votes of any player. Caitlin and Aaliyah Boston became the first duo in Fever history to record 20-point double-doubles in the same game. Both of them were cooking the Mercury. However, that wasn't Caitlin's only accomplishment. She also had 7 first-quarter assists, which broke a franchise record. She now has the Fever record for both assists in a single quarter and assists in a single game. And on top of that, Caitlin's other teammate, Kelsey Mitchell, also made the All-Star team. Having Caitlin on the team makes it so much easier for her teammates to play their roles. Besides, all they really have to do is hustle and make the right cuts because Caitlin will find them thanks to her pinpoint passes and even a few unbelievable bounce passes that leave the defense confused. But when you are a superstar, you have to do more than win games. You have to generate views. That's part of the deal. And well, in that sense, she has exceeded expectations. Not only has she been rewriting history on the court, but she is changing the way the organization does business. Caitlin's highly anticipated WNBA regular season debut, perhaps unsurprisingly, broke ESPN's WNBA viewership records. Before this season, the WNBA had no game with more than 1 million viewers since 2008. The Indiana Fever rookie scored 20 points as 2.1 million fans watched across ESPN2, ESPN Plus, and Disney Plus. It was the most watched WNBA game on any ESPN platform in history. The Fever-Sun matchup peaked at 2.3 million viewers. Caitlin's third game of the season came against the New York Liberty. It became the most viewed WNBA game on ABC in league history. Viewership for the game saw an average mark of 1.71 million and peaked at 1.96 million. The only game that she wasn't involved in for the top viewed matchup was the Minnesota Lynx versus the New York Liberty in late May. 12 out of the 13 new viewership records this season have involved Caitlin and the Indiana Fever. Now, the game between the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky was the most watched WNBA game on any network in 23 years. The last time a WNBA game pulled in these numbers, Caitlin wasn't even born yet. The rising tide lifts all boats, and well, Caitlin, she is that tide.